Hello, Bernina Jeff here, High Fashion Sewing Machines in Grand Junction, Colorado. Today we're going to talk about the black bobbin case along with the golden bobbin case that fits in the original 710, 750, and 780 have a different style bobbin case, just slightly, than the new 740, 765, 770, 790. All the black bobbin 4 series and all the black bobbin 5 series have this newer style bobbin. To identify the newer style bobbin, Bernina put a code on the outside edge of the newer style bobbin case. And if you look closely along the edge, you will see this triangle. See, there's still a triangle stamped in there in the plastic? That triangle indicates that it's for the newer machines. The older style does not have that triangle on it. It just has a manufacturer's circle on there, and that's how you can tell the styles apart. I can tell them apart by eyesight because the older style, the little thread guide coming out the top goes straight up to 12 o'clock on the old style. On the new style, it kind of angles off to maybe 1 or 1:30. So that's how I can kind of tell right away what style they are, old or new. But what's been happening, customers have brought this in, I've had 3 in the last week, where there is a copper spring that rides in a window up here, and it actually acts like a little extra check. See, this spring gets out of place. It's really kind of hard to see with the lighting and everything else here, but if I get it just right, this copper spring comes out from this silver horseshoe-shaped metal part in there. That's actually a spring brake. So when you're sewing along and you stop all of a sudden, your bobbin does not continue to spin and cause a mess or a rat's nest inside the bobbin case. So that spring brake needs to be in there along with this extra little check spring inside there. But it all needs to be in the same place. If you look real close, this little spring is out of place. It's on top of this horseshoe shape. And if you put your bobbin in there, you'll have extra tight bobbin tension. You put it in the machine, you'll just have breaks and just all kinds of messes. So you need to take either a really nice tweezers. I like these Bernina tweezers. I sell dozens of them. Or a Seamripper. So there is a little hole in the top of this horseshoe shaped, and you can kind of get your Seamripper in there and work on that spring to where you can get this copper wire underneath this silver horseshoe shaped spring and get it back into place. I'm putting it back in its window so it checks right there. And then you fiddle around to try to get that ear back into its place. I've found that the tweezers makes it a little bit easier. And if you push around, slide it around, and pretty soon that ear will get right back into place. And it's fussy. It could take 5 minutes or 30 minutes. And you don't want to get that whole spring out of there. If you get that whole horseshoe-shaped brake spring out of there, you'll be going to your tech to get it fixed. So it's in there now, and if you look closely at your own bobbin case, it's hard to hear on this. You'll notice that that ear with the little flange on it is flush now. It's in place. And this ear is flush and in place. And I can bounce on that spring, and that spring bounces back and forth. And when you put a bobbin in there, it'll bounce up and down. The other thing to look for is it goes in your machine with this little guide upwards. Take your finger and rub across right here. Occasionally, the bobbin will pop halfway out while you're sewing, and you'll get needle strikes right in here. That's not good for sewing. Take an emery board, just a plain old green or orange emery board, and file that down. Sandpaper will work. Make it nice and smooth, just as smooth as possible. I always recommend to my customers that are 2 and 3 hours away to buy an extra bobbin case, because you'll be in the middle of sewing something under a time restraint and something will mess up. And a good extra bobbin case to have is the high tension bobbin case. This only works on the 740, 765, all the new models. It will not work well in the 710, 750, or 780. It may fit, but it may not sew very well. The high tension bobbin case is designed for ruler work, template work, and embroidery. It adds a certain percentage higher tension to your bobbin thread. But for regular sewing, you can just take this larger screw of the two and then loosen it lefty-loosey about 1/4 to 1/2 a turn until you get your desired tension, and use it for normal sewing until you can have your black bobbin case fixed. These run about $100. Sometimes they go on sale. It's really a good backup to have, especially when you're far away or your dealer is not stocking them. I usually have several of these in stock. So do remember to give me a call if you need to order my specific oil. That's the red cap oil for the 7 series and the 5 and the 4 series. Again, Bernina Jeff at High Fashion. Please subscribe. Thanks.